Hey everyone, welcome back to Lesson 1, Module 2. Healthy food starts with healthy soil, local manure. So, we're talking about finding sources of organic, earth friendly manure. So, chickens are the easiest animals to keep, I think. And once you have them, it is almost impossible to get along without them, especially we just went 2 years with just our rooster almost. And I really, really miss the eggs. So this is near and dear to me right now, especially. And then we got two, and now we have six chickens. So we've never really had to buy chickens. Somebody's always given us some from somewhere. We've had them for about, oh my goodness, way over 10 years now, maybe almost 20 years now. Mike and I have been married for 25 years. So for a long time, we've had chickens here. And once you get used to, I always say the eggs are the bonus. We really have the chickens for the manure, for the garden. And when you get a bonus like eggs, fresh eggs, you just can't go wrong. And once I got to really know the chickens and get used to their unique personalities, they're just fun. I always want to point out, you don't have to have a rooster, and a lot of places that you live are going to have regulations and tell you maybe you can only have a limit of 6 chickens. I did recently go through my interview with Lisa Steele that I did. She has a great book called Fresh Eggs Daily, where she talks about raising chickens. She's just got a great blog, and it's a great book. And she's an awesome resource, but I remember her saying that 12 chickens is the perfect size for a flock for her. So we have 6 chickens now, and we go through a lot of eggs because Mike bakes a lot. And then I like to eat eggs for protein. But you don't have to have a rooster. Those chickens are going to lay those eggs whether you have a rooster or not. And this summer, I felt like feeding them a lot of the extra kale and Swiss chard that we had probably maybe made them a little healthier. So, a great source for manure is eggs. Is chickens. And then another source is cows or horses. But the big thing that's been a consistent theme on my podcast is make sure you know where that manure is coming from. The cow should not be eating weed free hay. Weed free hay. And so I usually think, treatment free bees or chemical free is the good. But actually, if they're eating weed free hay, that means it's been sprayed with chemicals so that the weeds won't grow. So, Peggy Jane Owsley, who's worked at a local nursery around here in episode 4, talked about it. Jacqueline Freeman, who's a big in the treatment-free beekeeping out in Washington, talked about it. Just 2 really great examples there, but other people have talked really, it's important you know where your hay is coming from or what kind of hay your animals are eating, whose manure you're going to get. And so those are some local cows. Here I took that picture, and then here's our landscape. And so I did the most common question I think I got all summer last summer. I got so many questions about, well, how do I grow an organic lawn? What do I put on my yard? What do I put on my organic lawn? What do I buy? What fertilizer do I get at the store? And I tried to explain to them, well, either, throw compost out there or Mike and I have shoveled tons of manure on our lawn. And you can see that picture there. Mike, this was just forest, and he cut it down, leveled us out at home site, and that was all forest. And so when he put the house up, there really wasn't a lot of grass. This was all very rocky, soily. It was not this really nice, lush looking grass that we have here. And there is a lot of clover in here, and we could certainly use more clover in our lawn. But we shoveled many, many loads of manure onto that lawn, just shovelful after shovelful. There was one year, so Mike used to have a backhoe business called Dirt Diggers, and he had a dump truck that went with it. And one year, we just got tons of requests, and we hauled dump truck loads here of this manure from this farm where the farmer died and his kids inherited it, and so they were selling it to break up the inheritance, and so they were going to get every penny out of it they could, and they sold off all that manure that had been sitting around their ranch for years and years, and we hauled dump truckloads full of that manure to all sorts of lawns around this community. We also, at one point, somebody dug up the Forest Service or someone dug up this like peat out of, they built this pond or something. I can't remember what it was, but we hauled tons of peat for people too. That stuff was like really nice, fresh. So you'd be surprised at what you can find. Great deals. And then, like I said, really the best thing you can put on your lawn is some natural fertilizer that comes from cows that haven't eaten weed free hay, or chickens, or we've gotten on Facebook, Mike's gotten sources of goat or sheep manure. We actually got sheep for a while that Mike wants to build some pasture out beyond that fence, that back fence. But unfortunately, a predator got them. So we're trying to figure out what else we could do here. We would like to get some sheep again someday, or maybe a cow or llamas. I did a great episode. One of my most downloaded is Jim Swanson from Fantasyland, Llama Land. And he talked about growing things with llama dung. So, and I'll never forget this story. My dad, Ringling Brothers, was at Madison Square Garden when my dad was going to some convention at the Jacob Javits Center, and he came home and he called my mom. He's like, "You gotta pick me up at the station." And we get there, and he's got a whole giant garbage bag of elephant manure that he said, "Hey, don't throw that away. I'll take that home. We'll put that in my garden beds." Just always caring for the planet, my parents were. So I love that story about him. And just any kind of manure you can get your hands on, a great source of building healthy soil.